Welcome back, dollies.
Welcome back. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Been a while, but it's only been a week.
I know. It does feel like it's been a while. I feel like a lot has happened. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, I actually have an update on my nail lady. Got my nails.
We love to hear it.
Yeah, so she's been kind of like suspicious in the past ones. Yeah, secretive, always with the whispers. And like I texted her this past week and I asked her if she had any availability. She said, yeah. And then she texted me later that night and was like, oh, I actually switched salons. I'm over here now, which is only like maybe a 1 minute drive from like where she was. She's like, is it okay if you come here instead? It's a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. It's just better. And I was like, oh, shoot, she switched salons. And then I started thinking about it more and I was like, she plotted this. She planned it. I was like, this is why she wanted me to text her. This is why she kept whispering.
So the previous salon, was it just like you go in and you get assigned to somebody? Like they didn't have appointments with like a certain
They
lady?
did have appointments with certain people,
Okay.
or you could just get assigned to somebody because you could schedule online, is what I did, or you could call. And if you had a person that you liked, you could schedule with them, or just like whoever was available at the time you needed. But yeah, I went in and it is a bigger salon, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's a great place. Were they sad that you left? And she's like, well, they're talking their shit. I was like, oh. I
A
was like,
lady is not playing games.
yeah, she's like, they're talking their shit, I guess. I'm like, oh. And then she's like, this place is much better. She's like, cleaner so you don't get infection. I was like, oh,
Thanks.
are you also talking shit?
Did you feel like it was cleaner? Like, did you get
Oh, yeah, it was probably like three
freaking
times
new?
the size of the other one.
Oh, wow.
And it was just, you could tell that it was newer. That she said it's been there for about a year.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's definitely an upgrade and it's nicer. The chairs are nicer, the desks are
Mhm.
nicer, like everything.
Massage chairs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could just sit in a massage chair right now for like an hour.
Yeah, so it was nice, but I thought that that was so funny. I was like, you were plotting. She's like, I'm taking my clients with me.
Taking them with me.
It worked. Um, other than that, we got back from New York and we've just been going with the flow of things.
Where? Does the time change mess you up on like a shorter trip like that or not really?
It messes us up when we go to New York. So like when we
But
get
coming
to New
back's not as
York,
bad.
3 hours ahead is hard. But when we come back, I don't really struggle with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Serena have a blast with grandma?
She did. She was excited to see us. I was
Oh,
like, I forgot what you looked like.
who are you?
I know. So, yeah, it was a good trip, but glad to be back in our routine. What's new for you?
Well, I don't think we had chicks the last time we were.
No, you didn't.
So that is new. Um, that's been a fun journey. I feel like they're doing better.
They're 2 weeks old.
They're 2 weeks old. They're doing better than I thought they were gonna do. I thought it was gonna be a lot more like, okay, we're not gonna be able to leave the house as much. I'm kind of scared to leave the heat lamp on.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a lot more like, oh my God, they're pecking that one. We gotta separate it, or like, oh my God, that one's like kind of dying. I thought it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
lot more challenging, but so far they're solid. They're all getting along. They're all different breeds. So we got six, but four different breeds.
That's awesome. I
And
know. I feel like things always sound like overwhelming, and then you're just kind of like overthinking it because you don't know what to expect. And then once you just dive in, you're like, oh,
my
you,
husband's like an overthinker. So I was like, I know this is on me. Like a lot of the things he's like, you have to be able to do it yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like make sure, like he's like, I can help, but like make sure you can do it yourself.
yeah.
Okay. But I had to get them as like time crunch because otherwise they won't be outside by the time I have this baby and I can't be dealing with chickens flopping and pooping and hiding in the garage
Mm-mm.
and a brand new baby. I no. So we started building the coop for that. Trying to just finish last minute house projects because my dad is coming. So, um,
And what are the chicks' names?
So we have mozzarella, we have bonsai. I wanted to name them all after cheeses, but the boys, well, the one that's not a cheese is bonsai. And then they're the same breed, they're Americanas. And then we have Juliet and
That's a
halloumi.
cheese.
Juliet is a blue cheese.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
And then halloumi. P has like the hardest time with halloumi. Um, and they are both like blue Plymouth tints or something.
Mm.
And then we have a Jersey Giant who's named Pepper because she's all black. And then we have an Isa Brown named Cheddar because she's yellow and she has like racing stripe on her back. But
Cute.
now they're like changing even in such a short amount of time. Like they were so like fluff balls and now they're getting like real feathers and like their little fluffs are falling out. I'm like, who are you?
Oh, that's so cute. I can't wait to meet them one day.
But
We'll
they're
probably,
pretty cute and Arkham's like obsessed.
I bet.
So that's been a little hard just because it's like even more, but he's gotten pretty good with them. They can almost fly out of their enclosure though. So I'm
Oh,
always like, okay, wait, let me close all the doors before you go in
yeah.
there. You don't end up outside because they're tiny still.
Yeah.
But
Oh my gosh. Well, that's
so
so,
that's been, and then
yeah,
gardening, lots and lots of gardening because it is spring. So
I
we're,
know. I'm so happy it's spring. The weather here has been kind of on and off. It'll be like a good solid 70s and sunny for a minute. And then all of a sudden we get like a cold weekend and then like back to the 70s. So it's kind
and
of
I
been,
keep getting fried. Like I just literally am
hey,
not.
you even look a little tan today.
I look so tan because I just like keep getting like it's so funny because like I don't think of Arkham as like really brown. But like the other day he was like, why am I brown? He's like, why is my face brown? Like, and I was like, well, it's like I I mean he does tan really well. He can tan
Yeah.
better than P, but I was like, that's funny though, like he sees himself as brown. It's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. The detail.
Yeah.
That's so,
So we're always like, look at my skin, look at his skin, like we're all
yeah. All
so
different. I was gonna ask you, has Arkham seen the like old Disney movies like Cinderella, Ariel,
Toy
Aladdin?
Story he
Like,
has.
which
Um,
one?
Toy Story.
Oh, uh-huh.
He does love Toy Stories. He's singing he's like very audio, as you know. So he can sing like all this like from any movie or like I'll just hear him singing certain songs.
Yeah.
But he was singing the Toy Story songs today in the car. But because I had all those Toy Story toys from when I was little, so they've been given to him. So he was like kind of interested in it when he was little. But he hasn't seen Cinderella. He has not seen everybody like calls him Tarzan, but even before that, he wanted to watch Tarzan when he was really little. And I was like, how do you know about Tarzan? He's like, I want to watch Tarzan. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And it tripped me out. And then we put it on and it was like way too much because I have not seen Tarzan in years. And I was like, okay, this is terrible.
Yeah, with
So
the
we
animals.
turned it off, but he won't watch Jungle Book. He won't I think he has seen The Lion King with P, but he won't watch it again. Uh,
Yeah.
when he was really little, I had put on Ariel and he would kind of watch it, but now he's like, nope. We went on that Ariel ride at Disney or California and he was like terrified.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
so that was horrible.
What about like Aladdin or like Finding Nemo?
He does. So his first like movie that he really loved was Finding Dory, I think, and Finding
Oh,
Nemo because he could sign fish. So he'd always be like, fish, fish.
cute.
And he'd want to watch that. Um,
You know which movie I think is um a really underrated Disney movie that like as a kid I feel like it was underrated, but then as an adult I'm like, "Oh my God, that's like the best Disney movie."
I like don't know what you're gonna say.
Mulan.
What?
I just feel like now as an
Find this
adult,
movie.
I know, I'm like that one was so underrated. Like I didn't really care about Mulan when I was younger. Now
Is
as an
that the one with the
adult,
little dragon? Like Mushu or something?
yeah. Now as an adult, I'm like, oh my gosh, the message that Mulan sends. I love the message of the movie. The songs slap. They're like my
Really?
favorite songs out of all the Disney movies. Yeah, the songs
Maybe
are
I need to revisit, but
it's actually such a good movie. And like, if you have a daughter, even a son too, but if you have a daughter, I think it's like a great movie to have your daughter watch because it's pretty much like, her dad, Mulan's dad, has to go off to war because there's this whole war about to break out, but he's elderly at this point and he has like a hurt leg. He walks with a cane, but he has to fight for his country. He doesn't have a son, so his son can't go for him. He has to go. Mulan then transforms herself to look like a boy, and she's like, I'm gonna go fight instead of my dad. Girls aren't allowed to fight though. So only boys. So she has to look like a boy. So then she's going and she's with the boys and she's like trying to train. And there's a song that's like, I'm in the coursing river, be a man, a great typhoon. And he's like, I'll make a man out of you.
oh, I do know that song because we listen to like Disney soundtracks,
Like
but
when he's like training them and like there's like a chubby one and like a nerdy one and she's in there and she's like really struggling to keep up with the boys, but then like she really just starts like when everybody goes to sleep, she starts like practicing and training and she's like getting stronger and better and then all of a sudden she's like the top dog out of all the men, but she's actually a girl. And then at the end, they find out that she's a girl and they're like, you're a girl? Like, and then she kind of proves everybody to be like, girls can do just as much as boys can do. We're strong. I can do what you do, and I did a better type of thing. It's just like such
interesting.
a good movie. I love that movie. And the songs are just so good. It's like a sweet, powerful Disney movie.
So I never watched Aladdin really growing up, but I like the live action one. I think that came out when
Yeah.
Arkham was like born or when I was pregnant with him. So we did watch the live action one the other day, but he keeps wanting because they're advertising it all the time on like Spotify and we
Oh,
listen to
uh-huh.
Spotify a lot, is Snow White. And I'm still
Mhm.
terrified of Snow White.
Yeah,
And
Snow White was a scary one. I was never really interested in it. It was
that's so scary. That witch like terrified me. Probably because I have multiple family members that are just like that witch and they look similar.
your real life is Snow White.
So I know, and then everybody always wanted me to be Snow White when I was little because I was so white.
Yeah, that's
I feel
so
like Snow
funny.
White. I'm like, no, I don't want to be.
That is so funny. I know. Well, if you're ever in the mood for a movie, I would say rewatch Mulan as an
That's
adult.
interesting.
It's such a good movie. And I'm like, no wonder we didn't like it as kids that much because it was too much for us.
Yeah.
It's like we couldn't grasp the
I
concept.
feel like a lot of them are like, oh, this is too much. Like the
Yeah. But this one,
questions I get, I'm like, oh my
yeah,
God.
I feel like this one isn't like scary. It's like much about like family and
What about Pocahontas?
I was never into it.
Me neither, but I can think of that raccoon. Didn't she have like a raccoon or something?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I loved Cinderella.
I loved Cinderella. I loved the Ariel movies.
We know that.
I went as Ariel like every year. Oh shoot, hold on. This TV just turned
Um,
on. Shall we get into the stories?
let's do it. My phone is on the charger, so I'll have to run and get it before am I the asshole?
Okay, no problem. Stories were meh,
Okay.
but I wanted to start off with this one. Jersey Shore's Vinny.
Oh Lord. Ooh, is it
How do
good?
you last name?
He's delicious.
Guadagnino? I
Uh,
don't know how to
his
say
name, last name is
it.
so hard.
And I do not know how to say that. But we all know who Vinny is. He reveals he made $1 million from his Chippendales gig.
Job. Why didn't we go? That's what I wanted.
Vinny. So it says Jersey Shore's Vinny recently shared the salary he made during his days as a Chippendales dancer, which he started in 2019. I actually didn't realize that he was doing that like
I never
full
heard
time.
that.
I thought he just like did it as like a funsy thing one time, like an event or something. Vinny loves a good gym tan and striptease.
I feel like he doesn't tan anymore though.
No, he's
I'm
like the
fine with
one.
it.
The Jersey Shore star recently shared insight into his time as a Chippendales dancer, including the impressive fortune he made during his sets. It's great. I always tell people it's not like a strip club. I've made over $1 million doing it. Vinny, who's 37, revealed in
He's
an April,
37.
yeah. In an April 25th episode of Kayla and Nicole's The Pregame Podcast, I've done so many. They're called residencies where you stay there. It's the easiest money I've ever made. Just go there, live in Vegas,
And
and
it's
rip
probably
your shirt
so
off.
fun.
I know. In fact, he noted his 5 residencies, where he was fittingly known as the Keto Guido, was easier than his current stint as a stand-up comedian. Vinny
Oh.
made Chippendale's debut in 2019, but his most memorable show came 2 years later. During that Las Vegas set, the Dancing with the Stars alum turned heads with his shower scene, where the
Stop. I need to
down
watch the YouTube on this. This is literally my gosh.
link. Pull up the link. It says where he stripped down nude in a purple lit bathroom. Vinny!
Um,
And while he surprised the audience and social media at the time, Vinny told E! News the set was the most fun number of the whole show.
oh,
I
and
started doing that just for fun because I saw Tyson Beckford tried it. Vinny explained at the time. I was like, he was a guest host and he did that, so why can't I? Vinny's final
ooh,
residency came in August of 2023, where he performed a 6-week stint in Las Vegas. But despite his fond memories, he hasn't revealed whether he'll return to the Chippendales, as he's been focused on entertaining the crowd with his jokes. Though Vinny started his comedy career in 2024, he's actually been practicing his one-liners for nearly 3 years.
mm.
Vinny.
Vinny, stop.
Oh gosh. So I think we missed it, unfortunately. Sounds like his residency's over unless he makes a comeback. But
I
that's
feel like it's worth a comeback. I mean, if he needed it, because I feel like stand up, you just cannot make the money.
what I
But if
was
you
saying.
need the
And him
money,
saying, yeah, and him saying that this was the easiest money he's ever made, and it's way easier than like stand-up comedy.
and for like 5 weeks,
And if you enjoy it, like some people don't enjoy like that
but
stuff, but do it
maybe
for
he's
the
like,
money.
I'm 37. I'm not trying to do this when I'm
Right,
40.
right, right. Right. Maybe he wants to be taken a little more serious.
Who was your favorite? I know
Polly.
we didn't really watch Jersey Shore. Polly D?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I thought he was so funny. He would just crack me up all the time, his jokes and his energy, and I feel like he was always like the kindest one out of all of them. Like he was never as mean as some of the other guys. Like some of the other guys were mean. I feel like Vinny was sweeter too, but I feel like Polly was
I
always.
always loved Vinny.
I know. I feel like, and they were like the duo, right?
They
Like they were,
were.
yeah.
I
That's
feel like now I like Mike the Situation. He's not super attractive, but I feel like he's come so far.
he has come far. He's gone through a lot. I think everybody still hates Ron.
I think that guy's a douche and I think he's crazy. I think he's like a hothead.
Yeah, he's crazy. Nobody
Needs
likes him.
help.
Ron, Ron,
I
stop. I can't do it.
feel like I didn't watch the show enough to know.
That's
That's Sammy? Is it Sammy?
Sammy, because they had those accents, like those Jersey Shore accents.
I'll tell you what, those accents, I swear to God, like our investment guy is in New Jersey, I think. When he calls me on the phone, I'm like, stop, I might fall in love with you. Stop talking to me.
You love a Jersey accent.
Oh my God. I'm like, I don't even know what this guy looks like, but he sounds so
You're like, I
hot.
don't need to know. That is so funny.
Like,
Um,
Dan, stop calling me.
so yeah, maybe we will go to Vinny stand-up comedy show one day.
Maybe.
I feel like he could just incorporate the striptease
Yeah,
in.
do both.
Yeah, just
No one,
exit with that. Start with the comedy, loosen us up, then end with the striptease.
not too loose.
Yeah. You need a manager? Because I got you. Um, second story. Justin Bieber breaks silence on gossip and lies amid online rumors. So I don't know if you've seen, but it seems like he's going through something. Um,
I think we talked about it a few podcasts back that you said that he was like, I'm not as kind, you know.
yeah, so he's kind of been like struggling, and I think he's just like putting social media photos out that people kind of take and turn into, like, oh my God, he's on drugs again, he's doing this, because it'll be like a weird post, but like who really knows? But it just seems like he might be having like a rocky path right now.
Parenting
But
is
so
rocky. So
Justin
like especially
Bieber,
at the beginning, like trying to figure out who you are as a parent is so hard.
totally. So, I guess he broke silence. Justin Bieber shared his thoughts on the gossip and lies spread about him and wife Hailey Bieber on social media amid ongoing speculations about their personal life. Justin Bieber is focused on loving his family. As the sorry singer continues facing speculations about his and his wife Hailey Bieber's personal life, he addressed comments made about them on social media. They treat me like ass out here, but I remember that I am flawed and God forgave me, Justin reflected on his April 24th Instagram stories. It helps me to stop feeling better than those who are mean and hurtful because when I'm really honest, I can be mean and hurtful too. My instinct is to be like, damn, I wouldn't gossip and spread lies about someone on the internet, he continued, but there's other shit I do I'm not proud of. The
Hmm.
31-year-old also proved that his marriage with Hailey, whom he wed in 2018, is still going strong despite ongoing relationship rumors. Honestly, if I was you, it would be hard not to be jealous of me and Hailey going brazy, he wrote. It's really up for us, and that's understandable why people can't stand it. I don't blame him, he added. The Grammy winner concluded that he and Hailey are like the Joneses, who are impossible to keep up with. But Justin, who shares 8-month-old Jack Blues Bieber with Hailey, isn't the only one who addressed gossip about their marriage. Indeed, the Rhode Beauty founder shared her own thoughts on rumors posted on social media. Just FYI, the stories and constant blind items I see on TikTok are 100% of the time wrong. She wrote on Instagram last March, made out of thin air, come from the land of delusion. So I know it may be fun feeding into these stories, but just know they're always false. Sorry to spoil it. I do feel bad for them because I do think that so many people want to see them fail because a lot of people like Selena Gomez, even though like even if they did fail, I doubt him and Selena Gomez would get together. So like
That
people
is
need to get
toxic.
over that.
Move on, people.
People need to get over that. So I feel like so many people hate their relationship because of that, and they just like want to see it fail, so they like try to see the negative in it, but good for them for like proving otherwise, you know?
I feel like they're maybe one of those people that need to move out of Hollywood.
Totally.
Like they don't need to be there anymore. He can make music or come to make music and
Yeah.
like just go live a peaceful life. Still make your money. That's not hard, but like go live somewhere else.
Yeah, because she doesn't have to be like, she just has her beauty company, Road Beauty. So she doesn't have to be like out there. And he's not even making music anymore at this point. I don't know if he will in the future.
And
Maybe
there's
he will, but
studios everywhere.
totally.
I feel like even if you keep the house or whatever, which they don't need to, go
Yeah.
live somewhere else and like get away from it.
Yeah. So I feel bad for him. I feel like he's kind of been through a lot, and I feel like maybe he's dealt with stuff that obviously isn't spoken about that triggers him. And I think when you have a kid,
Yeah.
a son especially, because a dad raising a son, and I don't think his dad was very prominent in his life. I just think that can spark up traumas,
It
you know?
definitely does. I've seen it firsthand, kind of with myself, but especially my husband because he's literally cried before because he's like, I cannot believe like that my mom would do something like this to me at this age. Like,
Totally.
and like I cannot. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, parenting's hard, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes to see.
Yeah, I think it's very unexpected too. So you're not like ready for it, and like everybody deals with it differently. And who knows how great of a support system he has other than Haley.
Yeah.
I don't know like his relationship with anybody else in his family. So who knows? But we're wishing the best for them. Um, Third and final story. Gwen Stefani reveals third party in Blake Shelton marriage. Gwen Stefani revealed that when it comes to her marriage with Blake Shelton, whom she met while coaching The Voice in 2015, the key to a happy relationship lies in a third party. Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton are in perfect harmony when it comes to their relationship. In fact, the Sweet Escape singer shared during an April 23rd appearance on The Drew Barrymore Show that her best advice for a healthy and happy relationship would be to make sure you have a third party pointing upward to indicate that she was referring to God. Gwen and
Oh.
Blake tied the knot in 2021 after meeting as coaches on The Voice 6 years prior have never been shy when it comes to the role their faith has played in their relationship. In fact, the Hollaback Girl singer even detailed how meeting her husband was a miracle that made her feel reborn. Meeting my husband felt like a second chance at life. Gwen, who shares kids, Kingston, who's 18,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Zuma, who's 16, and Apollo, who's 11, with ex Gavin Rossdale, explained to The Guardian in November. Because when my family fell apart, it felt like a catastrophe. How do you pick yourself up from that? But God put this other person there to love me. And since the beginning of relationship with the She Wouldn't Be Gone singer who divorced from Miranda Lambert in 2015, Gwen expressed that their romance was reminiscent of a resilient flower. I know this sounds weird, but Blake and I came together in gardening, the Grammy winner noted. We have a house together in Oklahoma, and during the pandemic, we came across this very old building on the land, and there were some purple irises, which someone must have planted centuries ago, but they've survived. Now the life they've created together is one that she's always dreamed of, though her prior divorce made it hard to imagine that the dream could ever come true. There was a point where I was like, I can't even talk to you. When shared with people in November, this is insane. I already have enough problems. This is not happening anymore. We're not going to text or nothing. So happy for them also.
I was not at first,
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say, I feel like we weren't for it in the beginning.
but I think it turned out really great.
I think so too.
Um, I still love Gwen Stefani's song.
I know.
Not the new ones, but the
Same.
old ones are bomb.
Yeah.
And Blake Shelton, always bomb. I'm
Always.
just very sad that he didn't have his own biological children.
I know.
I wanted that for him, but that's okay.
Did Miranda ever have children?
She has not. She is remarried to like a police officer, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Same.
it's kind of wild.
Yeah, it is wild. Well, that's it for the stories. I feel like they weren't the best, weren't the worst.
They were interesting though. Am I the asshole for telling my friend to get out of my house when he called me a cuck? Sorry for any mistakes. This is my first time using Reddit, and English is not my first language. Okay, we run into a lot of those here.
Jeez.
What is this going on? So, backstory. I, male 27, have one biological daughter, Sam. I've been friends with her mother, Julie, since middle school, but started dating in high school. She got pregnant our senior year and decided to keep the baby. We were already having problems regarding college and long distance, and getting her pregnant made it complicated. We broke up. I moved away for college. She stayed back in the city. Still, I try to be present in our daughter's life. I also wanted to make sure I would be able to provide for her. We are very good at co-parenting, and it became even better when I eventually moved back to our city. Since then, we've had 50-50 custody. Sam's our first and foremost priority. That's why we focused on being co-parents rather than anything else, because we felt like it may further complicate things. However, despite it, we're still very good friends. I wish he would say how old the daughter is.
Mhm.
Now, 5 years ago, my ex had a ONS and got a one night stand and got pregnant again. She decided to keep the baby, Sue, but the guy didn't want to be a part of the child's life. My daughter adores her little sister. Ever since she found out her mom was pregnant, over the years, I've helped out with Sue quite a bit, picking her up from kindergarten, watching her when my ex had to work, etc. My ex trusts me. It's a bit uncommon since my ex and I aren't even together, but it works for us. I don't mind, and I'm glad my daughter's growing up with her sister. I was an only child and I always wanted to have a big family. So to say Sue has grown quite attached to me, and if I'm being honest, I'm quite attached to her. Sometimes when people ask me how many kids I have, I think two instead of one. The other day, Julie mentioned that Sue asked if I could take her to this daddy-daughter lunch at school later this week. I was happy to say yes. Now, 2 nights ago, had a couple of high school friends over. One of them was dating a guy named Jax and brought him too. Jax was a year younger than us. He knew Julie's family but didn't otherwise interact with her. Anyways, one of my other friends mentioned the lunch, and when I said I would be taking Sue, everyone else thought it was sweet, but Jax, for some reason, burst out laughing. I asked, "What's so funny?" He replied, "Why do you go to that? Why would you go to that?" Then I replied, "Because she asked me to." He laughed more and said, "You're such an effing cuck." playing daddy to some other man's kid for some bitch, which while she's whoring around. He said some unflattering things about Julie and the girl's birth that I will not repeat. After I recovered, I calmly told him to get out of my house. When his girlfriend started protesting, I told her that she could leave too. My friends think I was my friends think he was out of line, but some of them think I was too harsh telling him to leave. They think I was too harsh with his girlfriend and that I should apologize. Am I the asshole? Should I apologize to my friend?
No, I think your friend has toxic masculinity, and I think anybody else would look at this man and think he's a stand-up guy for stepping up
I
for
think
the
that's
dog.
adorable.
The dad's not in her life, and that's his daughter's half sister. And if
And
he didn't have any drama with the mom, like that's a stand-up guy for doing that.
yeah, and I think like Arkham was asking me the other day about like dads and stuff. Like the other day, he's like, "When did we get Poppy?" I'm like, "Well, we've always had Poppy," but so I try to get him to understand that like just because somebody's like somebody's biological father, that doesn't mean anything. I mean,
Right.
talk about gorillas a lot in King Kong, and that kind of makes sense even there. That like,
Yeah,
you know, sometimes like just because somebody's a dad doesn't mean they're a dad. Somebody that's a dad and a father takes care, shows up for the kids.
totally.
I think adopt this little girl. That's what
Totally.
I think.
Yeah, and like good for them for like him and his ex to be able to be like cordial for the sake of like the daughters. And like, yeah, I think it's shows a lot of good character on his end. And like, I don't think he's an asshole. Kick them
Get
out.
out. I think that's so respectful for like, even though you're not with the mother of your child, but somebody says something negative about her, like get out. Also, you're talking about my kids.
Right. And isn't that like they don't even know that guy because he said that his
Yeah,
friend was
his friend
dating
brought
that
him.
guy? Like, who are you? That's so disrespectful.
F
Ugh.
off with your douchebag name Jax.
Right. And also, cuck isn't the correct term, you idiot.
Yeah, you're
Yeah. Nasty. Well, still only down to one asshole.
yeah. I mean, he should have silent screamed. Then nobody would have heard him kicking them.
Yeah,
Neither.
exactly. Exactly. Well, thanks for staying tuned, and we will see you guys next week. Love ya.
We'll
Bye,
talk.
Dolly.